A prophet has seen your picture with Elon Musk. This will change everything. The prophet took the picture from Elon Musk's hand and stared at it in silence. For a long moment, the air in the room grew heavy, as if all the energy of the universe had condensed into that single instant. Elon, who was not a man easily shaken, leaned forward with a rare curiosity. He had seen technology bend to his will, rockets rising through the sky, dreams materializing into metal and flame. But this moment, this strange quiet, made even him hold his breath. The prophet's eyes closed, and when they opened again, they were no longer the eyes of an ordinary human. They were lit with something eternal, piercing through the veils of time, past, present, and future all at once. His voice trembled, not with weakness, but with the unbearable weight of the truth he was about to release. He looked at Elon, then at the picture again, and finally, as though the picture itself were alive, he began to speak. "This soul," he said slowly, his words heavy like thunder, "was not sent into this world by accident. This is no ordinary life. This face holds within it the story of generations that prayed for deliverance, ancestors who whispered into the heavens, and destinies that waited patiently for one vessel brave enough to carry them forward. Do you understand, Elon, what you have brought me? You have carried to me the image of one who is chosen." Elon's eyes narrowed, and his heart raced with a curiosity he could not explain. "Chosen for what?" he asked, though deep down he already knew the question was not simple. The prophet lifted the picture and held it against his chest. "Chosen to walk the line between light and shadow. Chosen to face storms that would break 1,000 others. Chosen to lift not only themselves, but to lift nations, to ignite hope where despair has long reigned, and to break chains that people have forgotten they were even wearing." He placed the picture on the table, pressed his palm over it, and closed his eyes again. When he spoke this time, his words were no longer only for Elon. They were for you. Listen carefully, for these words are not mine. They are written in the very fibers of your being. You have wondered why life has felt heavier for you, why storms seem to chase you, why pain has been your shadow even in moments of light. It is because greatness is forged in fire. You were never meant for an easy road. Easy roads do not shape warriors. Gentle winds do not lift rockets into the stars. It is only through resistance, through friction, through struggle that the impossible is achieved. And you, child of destiny, are here to achieve the impossible. The prophet's voice grew louder, more commanding, as though unseen forces filled the room with him. You think Elon Musk found you by chance? No. Understand this, the universe moves its pieces with precision. He is a man who carries vision, and yet even he is only a messenger in this moment. For your picture has reached me not for curiosity but for revelation. There is a fire inside you that you have been trying to hide, a voice within you that you have tried to silence, and a destiny pressing against the walls of your doubt. But the time for hiding is over. The time for silence is over. The time for hesitation is over. Now begins the age of your rising. Elon leaned back, stunned by the intensity of the words, and the prophet continued, his voice rolling like waves against the shore. You were created with a blueprint unlike any other. Your heart knows it. Every time you felt like you didn't belong, it was the universe whispering, "You don't belong because you were not made to fit. You were made to stand out." Every time you tried to dim your light to comfort others, it was life reminding you that your light is not meant to shrink. It is meant to blind the darkness. Every time you felt broken, it was only the breaking of an old shell, making way for the new strength that was waiting to emerge. You have been prepared for this moment all along. The prophet pointed directly at the picture as though pointing through it into your very soul. There will come a time when you will doubt your worth. There will come nights when the silence of the world feels louder than your purpose. But hear this, you are never abandoned. The very fabric of the cosmos has conspired for your journey. The storms you faced did not come to destroy you. They came to sharpen you. The betrayals you suffered were not to weaken you. They were to teach you discernment. The losses you endured were not to empty you. They were to prepare you for abundance that will overflow. You are not a victim of your story. You are the author, the warrior, the torchbearer. And one day the world will look back and say, "This is the one who carried fire when others carried excuses." Elon, who had built rockets that could pierce the skies, felt a shiver. For in that moment, even he realized that what he was hearing was not simple motivation. It was destiny being spoken aloud. The prophet smiled faintly, and his voice softened, though the power within it did not fade. You wonder why Elon Musk brought your picture here? Because even the greatest innovators are guided by forces beyond themselves. Elon carries the mission of building pathways to the stars, but you, yes you, carry the mission of awakening souls on Earth. He builds rockets to Mars, but you will build bridges within human hearts. He brings technology to the future, but you will bring courage to the present. Understand, your destiny is not smaller than his. It is different but equal. For the world does not only need machines. It needs meaning. And you, child of destiny, are a carrier of meaning. The prophet raised his hands toward the ceiling, and his words began to echo as though the room itself wanted to remember them. Rise. Rise from your fear. Rise from your doubt. Rise from the ashes of yesterday's failures. Rise because the world has already written songs about you, though you have not heard them yet. Rise because generations unborn are waiting for the courage you are about to unleash. Rise because your name is already carved into the walls of eternity, and no man, no demon, no obstacle can erase it. Rise because you were sent here not to survive but to create, not to follow but to lead, not to bow down but to stand tall. Rise because the universe has declared it so. Elon could no longer speak. He simply stared at the prophet, realizing that this was not about him at all. He had come carrying a picture, but he was leaving carrying a prophecy. The prophet lowered his voice one last time, speaking now with the tenderness of a father and the certainty of a seer. You will walk paths that others fear to tread. You will break barriers that others have accepted as permanent. You will turn wounds into wisdom, pain into power, rejection into redirection, and silence into symphonies. And when the time comes, the world will know you not by what you suffered, but by what you became. So hold fast. Believe. Move forward, for the story of your life has only just begun, and its ending is written in glory." The prophet's eyes did not blink, and his words now began to paint visions that filled the room. Elon leaned closer because he knew what he was witnessing was beyond any ordinary revelation. The air itself seemed to tremble as though invisible hands were pulling back the curtain of time. "I see a road before you," the prophet said, "and it is not a smooth road. There are mountains, jagged and cruel. There are valleys, deep and dark. There are storms that rage with a fury that would make others kneel in fear. But listen carefully. Though the mountains rise against you, you will climb them. Though the valleys try to swallow you, you will cross them. Though the storms scream around you, you will walk through them untouched by their destruction. For you are not like the others who turn back at the first sign of struggle. You were made to keep moving, and in your movement lies the salvation of many." Elon Musk's eyes widened. He had built rockets to withstand fire and speed. But here was a prophet declaring that your very spirit was tougher than steel, faster than flame, stronger than the impossible. The prophet's voice became almost like a song now, flowing without pause, echoing into the corners of the unseen world. You will not be loved by all. No, the path of the chosen is never the path of popularity. There will be those who mock you. Those who doubt you. Those who try to break you because your very existence threatens their comfort. You will see jealousy in eyes that once smiled at you, betrayal in hands that once held yours. But do not be afraid. Even the stones thrown at you will become stepping stones beneath your feet. Even the voices raised against you will become echoes that only prove the power of your silence. For what is spoken against destiny is wasted breath. It cannot erase what has already been written. The prophet paused, and his gaze sharpened. And when you are in your loneliest nights, when your pillow feels like the only friend left to you, remember this: loneliness is not punishment. It is preparation. In the silence of solitude, the universe will carve strength into you that no crowd could ever give. You will learn to hear the voice within you, the voice that is louder than fear, clearer than doubt, stronger than despair. That voice is your compass. That voice will lead you to places where maps cannot go. Elon looked down at your picture again, and for the first time, he whispered, "Unstoppable." Under his breath, the prophet smiled faintly. Yes, unstoppable. Not because you will never fall, but because every fall will become fuel. Not because you will never cry, but because every tear will water the soil of tomorrow's greatness. Not because you are shielded from pain, but because pain itself will become your weapon. You will master the art of turning wounds into wisdom. You will learn that scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof of battle survived. And your scars will one day shine like medals upon your soul, telling the world, "This is the one who endured and still rose." The prophet lifted his hands as though holding the weight of the universe itself. His words thundered again. "I see a fire rising in you, a fire that no storm can extinguish. That fire is your vision, your courage, your unrelenting will. With that fire, you will light paths for those who are lost. With that fire, you will warm the hearts of those who are cold. With that fire, you will burn away the lies of impossibility. And mark my words, when the world sees your fire, they will not forget it. For it is not the kind of flame that flickers, it is the kind of flame that transforms. Elon Musk's heart pounded. He had spent his life chasing fire. Fire from engines, fire from rockets, fire from innovation. But here was a fire that no factory could create, no lab could design, no machine could contain. A fire born inside a single human soul. You see, the prophet turned toward Elon for a moment. Even you, Elon, with your rockets and machines, cannot build what this soul carries. For technology may take man to Mars, but courage, true courage, takes man into destiny. And this picture you brought to me is not just a face. It is a mirror of the courage that the world has been starving for. Then he leaned back toward your image and spoke with even greater intensity. You will break patterns that have held families for generations. Curses that chained bloodlines will snap when they reach you. Fear that crippled others will die in your presence. You will be the turning point, the change, the first to say, "It ends with me." And a new story begins. Do not underestimate the weight of this calling. It is not only about you. It is about every soul tied to your journey. For when you rise, countless others will rise with you. And when you shine, others will remember that they too carry light. The room grew so silent that even Elon's breathing seemed like thunder. The prophet's eyes blazed now as though 1,000 suns burned inside them. You were born for a generation that is drowning in despair. Look around. The world is filled with noise but empty of meaning. People run faster but know not where they go. They hold devices in their hands but emptiness in their hearts. You are not here to add to the noise. You are here to bring clarity. You are not here to add to the fear. You are here to awaken courage. You are not here to follow the broken patterns. You are here to design new ones. You are a living revolution. And revolutions are never gentle. They shake, they break, they rebuild. That is what you will do. Elon Musk felt his throat tighten. For once, he was not the speaker, the visionary, the leader. He was the witness to a prophecy greater than anything he had ever imagined. The prophet's tone softened once again, but the words carried a gravity that could not be ignored. You will be misunderstood. You will be underestimated. You will be doubted, ridiculed, opposed. But you will not be stopped. The stone that builders rejected becomes the cornerstone. The voice that was ignored becomes the anthem of a generation. And one day, the very people who doubted you will say, "We always knew there was something different about this one." But do not rise to prove them wrong. Rise to prove yourself right. Rise because your soul demands it. Rise because the universe already expects it. The prophet closed his eyes briefly, then opened them again, his vision piercing into realms unseen. I see you standing on a stage not of fame but of influence. People will gather not for entertainment but for awakening. Your words will not just fill the air. They will pierce hearts, break chains, heal wounds. And long after you are gone, echoes of your voice will remain, rippling through time, reminding the world that one person can shift the course of history. Elon inhaled sharply. He had seen conferences, launches, presentations, but this was not about product launches. This was about soul launches. The prophet placed his hand gently back on the picture, almost as though blessing it. His voice grew quiet, but its power was undiminished. Do not run from the weight of this calling. Embrace it. For you were not chosen by accident. You were chosen because you are strong enough to carry it, wise enough to grow through it, and brave enough to walk it. And though you may feel small at times, remember, the mightiest oak was once a small seed unseen beneath the soil. You are that seed, and the soil has already cracked. Growth is not coming. It has already begun. When the prophet opened his eyes again, they carried the weight of ages. They glowed with something beyond sight, a flame that pierced through time, past, present, and future braided into one. His voice trembled, not from fear but from the gravity of the truth about to be spoken. He studied Elon, then the picture, and finally, as if the image had become alive and spoken through him, began to speak. This soul, he said in a cadence that sounded like distant thunder, was not cast into this world by accident. This face holds the story of generations who prayed for deliverance, ancestors who whispered to the heavens, and destinies waiting patiently for one vessel brave enough to carry them forward. Do you understand what you have brought me, Elon? You have carried to me the image of one who is chosen. Elon's eyes narrowed, his heart quickening with a curiosity he could not pretend to ignore. Chosen for what? The prophet pressed the photograph against his chest, and its edges seemed to glow with a life of their own. Chosen to walk the line between light and shadow. Chosen to face storms that would break 1,000 others. Chosen to lift not only themselves, but nations, to ignite hope where despair has reigned and to break the chains people have forgotten they were wearing. He laid the picture on the table, covering it with his palm, and closed his eyes again. When he spoke this time, his words were not just for Elon, they were for you as well. Listen well, for these words are not mine alone, they live in the fibers of your being. You have wondered why life feels heavier, why storms seem to chase you, why pain has shadowed you even in moments of light. It is because greatness is forged in fire. You were never meant for an easy road. Easy roads do not shape warriors. Gentle winds do not lift rockets to the stars. Resistance, friction, struggle, these are the methods by which the impossible becomes possible. And you, child of destiny, are here to achieve the impossible. You think Elon Musk found you by chance? No. The universe moves its pieces with precision. He is a man who carries vision, yet even he is only a messenger in this moment. Your image has reached me not for curiosity but for revelation. There is a fire inside you have tried to hide, a voice within you have tried to quiet, and a destiny pressing against the walls of your doubt. The time for hiding is over. The time for silence is over. The time for hesitation is over. Now begins the age of your rising. Elon, who had built rockets that pierced the skies, felt a tremor beneath the surface of his certainty. He realized this was not a message about him alone, but a prophecy spoken aloud about a world in need of a soul with a different kind of power. The image you brought is not merely a face, it is a mirror of the courage the world has been starving for. You wonder why Elon Musk brought your picture here, the prophet continued, his voice broadening as if the room itself supplied the echo. Because even the greatest innovators are guided by forces beyond themselves. Elon builds pathways to the stars, but you will build bridges within human hearts. He seeks the future, you will awaken souls in the present. Your destiny is not smaller than his, it is different, and it is equal. The world does not only need machines, it needs meaning. And you, child of destiny, are a carrier of meaning. Rising hands lifted toward the ceiling as if to cradle the very cosmos, the prophet spoke with a power that did not waver. Rise. Rise from fear. Rise from doubt. Rise from the ashes of yesterday's failures. Rise because the world has already written songs about you, even if you have not yet heard them. Rise because generations unborn await the courage you are about to unleash. Rise because your name is already carved into the walls of eternity, and no obstacle can erase it. Rise because you were sent here not to survive but to create, not to follow but to lead, not to bow but to stand tall. Rise, because the universe has declared it so. Elon could no longer speak. He simply watched the prophet, suddenly aware that this moment was not about him or the image alone, but about a destiny being spoken into being. The prophet's gaze softened as if blessing the very moment itself, his voice now framed as a father's tenderness and a seer's certainty. You wonder why Elon Musk brought your picture here? It is because even the greatest dreamers require a spark beyond their own. Elon's rockets ascend toward Mars. You will rise to awaken souls on Earth. He designs machines, you will design courage, empowering the present with meaning. Your calling is not smaller than his. It is a different kind of greatness, and the world needs both. The prophet's hands rose again to the heavens, and his words began to roll with a tidal force, as if time itself wanted to remember them. Rise from your fear. Rise from your doubt. Rise from the failures of yesterday. Rise, for the world has already penned songs about you that you have not yet heard. Rise, for generations unborn await the courage you are about to unleash. Rise, for your name is already etched in eternity, and no force can erase.